So I come from the coast. I'm from a little village that it's called Almoster, next to Tarragona, and definitely I don't come from a family that has a mountain or ski background. So let's say I'm the black sheep of the family. I started skiing though when I was 3, because my parents, we will go like very few days a season, just as a tourist, when you go on the weekend, maybe one time a season. And then, it started to grow the times that we were going. And when I was 8, I switched to snowboard. I started to see people doing that, and I was like, oh, what's this? I want to try it. And then I really liked it. And from there, I didn't stop doing that. In fact, I stopped completely skiing, which could be nice to continue also. But snowboard really was really playful. And when I was a kid, I was just learning with snowboard instructors. And then I went into a club that it was like freestyle club, and we were kids, just together and enjoying, learning, progressing. And from there, when I was 13, was the first time that the Freeride Junior Tour started, the first year ever. And the club I was in back in time, they asked me, hey, this is happening. Would you like to try it? And I was like in this club that it was freeride and freestyle. And I was like, okay, why not? I mean, I was 13. I was really young at that moment. You just want to try things. And then I really liked it, and was definitely really a big challenge because in Spain we have really good mountains, but the snow, it's maybe not that great compared to other places. And I discovered so many really good places around Europe. I was like, wow, it's so nice to travel, to compete, to meet new people, new cultures, really good pals. So for me, at that moment, that was the only thing I was thinking and having fun. And then, from there, I just focused on the snowboard career. Or my parents were like, okay, you need someone that trains you freeride and be with you, because they don't know, or, and I just focused into my free career. And then I started the free qualifiers, and so I was there for 3 years, and until making it to the tour. So far now it's been 13 years competing on the free ride. So a lot of years, a lot of experience. And I think this season is my 4th season, and on the tour, on the Freeride World Tour. So pretty stoked to see now in perspective, like all these years since juniors and since it started, and becoming on the athlete on the Freeride World Tour. It's a dream come true. Wow, there was a few challenges when I was younger. Like in Spain, there's a ski culture, snow culture. But I mean, the first thing that you think when you think Spain, it's beach, hot, and for sure the knowledge there of freeride sport is not that big. Now it's changing. There is more visibility, definitely way more than back in time. And when I was doing it, between my studies, when I had to not go to school due to traveling and competing, the teachers barely knew what I was doing. So it was really tough to combine both. And the justified document that I would receive was not enough for them. So that was one challenge. Another one is that the access to freeride in the Pyrenees, it is possible, but for example, to do a line on freeride really like long, nice, it takes 1 day. So compared to other places like in the Alps where the access is easier, or just next to the ski resort, you can traverse and do so many lines. It's definitely another thing. And yeah, that's I think the main things. It doesn't mean that you cannot freeride in the Pyrenees. There is a lot of places to freeride. There is so many steep, beautiful faces, and but it's definitely harder. And back in time also, there was, let's say, no coaches for freeride. So my dad just for sure wanted me to be safe in the mountains and learn in the best way possible. So it was really tough also to find someone that could coach me and be with me. I think in terms of coaching or having a coach, I had different coaches. I had more than one, well, I don't know now how many, but I definitely had a few. And it was just basically to improve my snowboarding, to improve my technique, to learn about mountains. I even had a mountain guide as a coach to learn a lot on the mountain side rather than like skills. So I definitely now I see it in perspective, and I take like the juice of each coach and take the most interesting thing for me in order to have a complete formation, I would say. I mean, back in time, the freeride in Spain was not visible, first thing. Then the other thing, there was no coaches, no clubs or anything like that. There was no competitions either, because I remember in juniors I had to travel so much, so far away, that my dad had to take days off in order to bring me there, because no one else was able to do it. And to France, to Switzerland, to Austria, and now we can see nowadays there is a lot of competitions in the Pyrenees where young athletes can go there, can compete without spending tons of money and having next door. So that's really cool. I think that's a very tough question, because for me in this career, there's been a lot of people that has helped me a lot, that has trusted me when I was no one or my level was not that great, and especially my family that support me at the beginning so much, trust me on my potential. Well, of course, back in time there was not so many riders or girls to see, but one of the person that I really followed was Estelle Ballet, that was on the tour, that unfortunately passed away in an avalanche. And she was a really reference for me, and she was crushing it. She was the best. She was having a level that we will all remember, and was really crazy for me to see this with such a young age. And I was like, fuck, I really want to do that. And for sure, when unfortunately she died when she was just 21st year, it was really tough, because at that time I was 18 and I was like, fuck, don't want to go through that. This is the bad part or the most biggest thing as a freerider, to experience this, right? And so it was really sad for me in my career to see that, like, wow, this also it's part of freeriding, and we need to be really taking really smart decision and be safe on the mountain. She was so nice, like not just as a rider, also as a person, and what she will bring to the people around. I don't know, was a really good girl. But I mean, for sure, as a rev, like I think nowadays we can see more riders or girls that we can put names or that we can look and follow, the steps. Or like for me also Marion Herty for sure is a good reference also. Like I've been always following her, and before I was on the tour, and it's for sure like a good person and a good rider as well. So I like to watch her as well. I don't come from the mountains, and I value, I don't know, for example, when I was in Chile and I met some people that they knew me on social media or something, they're like, oh, you're so natural, so normal. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a person like you. I think, like I'm not I'm not someone better or like, and especially if I come from a background that it's not from the mountains, I value more the hard work to that is to be at this stage where I'm a professional snowboarder. So like the hard work for me, it's really always been there. The sacrifice that I had to take, the value of also resilience, right? The experience that I lived in my past and in my young age, it's also makes you who you are today. I experienced some things that unfortunately I don't wish for anybody, but it happened, and it's just how now I value. I'm grateful that I managed to heal from them and to become who I am today. For the competition season, before that, I like to, well, I go to train in the gym. I have a trainer, and I have my training sessions on the preseason. But I also like to climb, to hike, to be on the mountain just in another season, just doing also mountain activities and to keep active. And for sure, also mentally, it's part of it to balance all. And I do, well, I go to psychologist in sports psychologist, and that's also really helpful to keep the mind also balanced and have strong two things, the body and the mind. The mindset or the mind part of competing on the free riding, it's also important, not just for oneself, but also in order to be ready to expose yourself on these spaces and to be ready even if you're not. That's also something very true. It has to go in all sports. Like it's not just in freeride, it's in all sports. Like, and even if you're not sport person or an athlete, it's also really, for me, when I started to do psychology, I thought this is the best gift I have ever done to myself. Like, so it's really important. And for sure, when it comes to freeride or like when you are exposing yourself into these phases, you really need to have your mind well structured, clear, confident, find the trust. And so there is so much work in there. Like psychology is such a big, complex topic. Like there is so many different psychology. So it's like a homework. You go to train, so you do that as well with the mind. It's as important as the physics. So when I'm off season, I mean, in winter season, it's impossible, but I manage, well, I study graphic design, I did a career, and then I have done other formations, but I become freelance on 2020, so I'm a freelance graphic designer. And so I work in this, that is also my passion since I was kid. Since I was kid, for me, was art, design, and sports. So I'm super happy to be able to combine these now, and that has helped me as well with my sport career to find also people to collaborate with as a designer. So I do that in off season and besides training, of course. Well, when you go off piste or on the mountain, it's always there is other factors to take in consideration. And it's important to be aware of the decisions in every moment that you take in there. So safety comes there. Safety is one of the most important things on freeriding, besides what you do there. So every time I go out or I want to do like a phase or I have to do approximation, or I always check how is the snow, how is the weather, or how it's been, if there is any avalanche risks. So it's really important to read the mountain. And thanks to that I have had a mountain guide as a coach, I have learned a lot on these terms. And it's also good to, when you're about to go down on a phase, to know always a plan A, a plan B, where is the way out if something happens, because the risk is going to be always there, but you need to know how to handle if happens. It's always about having all these thoughts on your mind, and when you're going to the mountain, that you can basically trust your life, and they can trust your life to rescue if something happens. But you never want to arrive to that point. So the point is to reduce as much as possible the possibilities that this happen. But if it happens, know what to do, and that's pretty much it. So when it comes to the competition day, it's important to study well what you want to do. Like when you see a face, okay, if you have two options, or like to know, okay, I'm gonna go for this one, and then study it well. Like I spend maybe 2 hours or something like that studying the line that I want to do, to be sure, and I take it in the best way possible, trying to put confidence in me, thinking to myself, or telling to myself that I can do it, and to stay positive, and to be able to do something that I like. And then I think everything after comes. Like when you do something that you like, that you're proud, that you're sure, I think the results will come. So that's kind of what I'm focusing when I'm gonna go to MP. Well, it sounds a little bit, I don't know, but when I hike on the way to the face, I'm just telling to myself, Núria, you can, I can, all the time. It's just something, all the approximation. So it's just like, even though I have already worked on it before, just another push. Of course, also it's nice to bring the competitions, the foam roller, to stretch to the day before, or just to put confidence on your body and mind. And I don't really have any special. Well, maybe when I'm on this, now that I do say, when I'm on the gate, I usually am just like, thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I'm gonna go down now. So like, okay, let's go. So yeah, it's more like something like this. In order to choose a line, I mean, as I said before, I've been 13 years competing, so I have quite a, I don't know, I see a face and then I already see a couple of lines, like instantly, like automatically. I'm like, okay, I'm usually looking for something that is steep or technique or couloirs, or a big drop that, like, okay, I think I can do that. And then I study it, and then I see if it's really like something that I really want to do when I'm possible. But for sure, also having background or being as a judge, it helps a lot to understand also what the judges want to see. But at the end, it's all about you doing something that you really want to do, that you really think you are gonna land it, because we are not crazy. We're doing something that we know what we're doing, and we are gonna think that it's possible. So this is also something. But I really like steep, tiny, cool words, straight, fast, and big drops. To go fast, and I think every season I'm learning something about it. So I like big mountain faces. I like to go fast, and if I can do a nice big drop there, I think I'm stoked. And yeah, I'm pretty good at steep areas. So yeah, in the competition mode, I try to not think at all about the other factors that it is to be compete in high level, like media or cameras or sponsors or being on live, or like to perform. I try to just only focus on what I have to do in that moment. And for sure, like, we are specialists on adding pressure on top of what it is already pressure of competing. So it's good to try to take that away a little bit and to work on just focus on what you have to do in that moment, which is have fun on the mountain, do your best, and that's it. I would consider myself quite creative mindset, so like, or a creative person. So I'm a designer, so I really like to do stuff like that, or play guitar. Also, I play sometimes with float toys with fire. So I think, yeah, I'm a bit creative, and besides training or working on the body or on the mind, I think it's a really good combo to combine this. And at the end, freeride, it's also somehow a creative. It has some creative side in there too, to create your line, and it's unique. So it's also, I think, art as well. I think thanks to free riding, and in order or get to know different cultures around the world, or ways to do, or resources, because there is very different in different countries. The sustainable side, it's something that I have learned a lot and become more and more aware of my actions. And also free riding, it's being on the mountain, it's being in the nature. So the value of protecting what you do, what you love to do the most, I think it's something really goes with my values. So I really take that in consideration in my daily life. It's not just when I go out there, but also in my daily life, in my actions, being part and being ambassador of or brands, partners that they support and commit to change, to do better for the world, to create products that are rather working on recycled products, or something that it's gonna reduce as much as possible the emissions. I'm also part of 2 different organizations: the Protect Our Winters, based in Austria, and the Good Karma projects in Spain. And so POW, it's mainly to protect winters, right? And then Good Karma projects goes into the beaches, into the coasts, the pollution that it's there, because in the Mediterranean, there is a lot of different topics to talk about here, but support this also sustainable and social project. So, and not just as ambassador, also taking part, doing actions if they need to do campaigns or take action on cleanups, or like being part also as a designer. I also do stuff with them. So being part at the end of these organizations, and at least give help, act with what I can, it's also makes me really it's fulfilling. I think, I don't know, I cannot say the phone, eh? Well, I have to not forget the GoPro, because otherwise no, I mean, I always wear my laptop. I don't know, it's not something really relevant, I would say. I don't bring anything, like, I used to have like a necklace, it's called, but I lost it, so I cannot bring it anymore. That wish me luck. I just have to wish luck to myself without it. So for this season, the goal is to keep with the same way I went last year, to see where is my limits, to do something that I like, to push. And for sure, I have some goals that maybe I don't want to say it, so better do it, like, yeah. So for sure, I have some goals in there, and at the end, just do my best and see what happens. I mean, for sure, every time you hear comments or you see when they post something about the girl and then it's really negative comments, it's not nice, and it doesn't say really a lot about that person, and then also doesn't help mentally for the other one in order to do more. I think snowboard female category has been always criticized, but I think the last years has been improving a lot the level, and it's super nice to see that it's increasing the level. For sure, there's still a lot of work to do, and it's definitely, if we compare it with skimen, a Cork 7, or like, it's something that, yeah, it's a big difference. So for sure, the reality is that we are jumping big cliffs and more than what we used to do. So that's already a big change. Doing grabs before it was barely grabs. That's also a big change. And so there's been also this year and in the past as well, 360s. So like, it's something that it's been there, but maybe not the amount of riders that there is. Maybe there was just one person doing it. So I think it's also important in this category to have more riders, because the more riders, the more progression in the sport, the more people that is trying things, the more opportunities. If we are just a few, then you just want to do something that you will just tick and go and arrive at the bottom on your feet. So the more girls we are, the more progression it's going to be. So this goes together with what I was talking before. The less people we are, it's just super competitive. If we see ski men, they are all go together. They're talking about their lines, and we're just a few girls. And in my side, maybe I was more competitive back in time, but now I don't see that much this side, because at the end, you're just one person going down, so it's just up to you what you do there. And in my opinion, I don't have a problem with the girls. For sure, there is more girls more competitive than others, and then you can see that. And then you just go, at least for me, I go with the most chillest persons. And on the tour last year, my bestie was Erin Sobe, and so it was really nice to hang out with her. In another seasons, it's been with Michaela Davies, that this year is gonna go again, so super stoked. And I think it's all about sharing your knowledge to others, to the same way back. But for sure, you can see that there's a lot of people that don't want to talk about their lines or like what they're gonna do, because we are just a few girls, and then maybe some little change will make a difference and so on. But I think we can also see that in other categories, like in ski women, or like, there's always some competitive in there, that you just want to do something better than the other. But I think also it's about the community to try to motivate the persons to become better, to do better in the mountain, to do something more gnarlier. I don't know. It's I think about having fun together in an individual way. I mean, yeah, I guess sometimes when you are doubting about yourself, or you think you're not enough already, or it's good to always hear, just do what you are already doing, what you did yesterday. It's just another day on the mountain, doing what you are doing every day, but in a competition. So just do what you already know. Don't do more, just do. For sure, you have to push it. So maybe, I don't know if 90% like Maxi Kitzik, but maybe I would say for me 85, and then be sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it. 97, it's maybe a little bit in the limit. Then I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years, but I definitely have 13 years competing on the freeride world, and I have learned a lot. I never thought I will be being part of a federation, or even the federation will recognize freeride as a sport and integrate it, and then me being part of a structure like that, it's something I never was able to put in my head, and now I'm there. So I think it's super nice to see that at least in Spain now, the freeride history now it's becoming like this, and it's evolving, and I'm very happy to be part of it and to represent Spain. And I hope that it also goes to other countries, because even though at the beginning it sounds like, oh wow, like what a big change, it it is a really good opportunity for each athlete, not just on media or like it's completely another world. And I also understand now what it means, and I definitely recommend that the athletes try to also push it in their countries, that the freeride or the federation considers freeride in their structure, because it's not just worth it as a freeride as a sport, but also as an athlete. And for me now, after the season or last season, a lot of opportunities are coming, and yeah, I can only now give here. It's a good place to give the boys, for the athletes, to try to contact somehow their country and their winter sports federation, in order to push this as fast as possible, because like, you know, years are passing, and life is short. So like, if you want to be part of it, I think you gotta try it at least, and it's a great opportunity. I mean, to integrate freeride in the structure of a federation, there is a lot of things to that. It's good things. One thing is that it gives more visibility to this sport. And in Spain before, was not even, people didn't even know what that was, and now there is a great visibility there, and we are just a few. So me as an athlete, I have grown a lot in visibility thanks to that as well, but also with the results I have done last season, and being in the federation, there is more sponsors that they want to sponsor you and support you, because you are in the federation. That back in time, I tried to knock the door, and they would say that they will only support federated athletes or stuff like this. And then being in the federation, for sure, it's a really, really nice help that I never had before. All the support in order to train, to travel, to organize, in order to just focus on that. So it's a really relief that back in time I had to do all myself. So this is also really nice. I think, well, for sure in the federation it's important to do good results. It's the end also about results. And so for me, the first year I entered in the federation was my best season ever. So that's rewarded. And this season I already had in Spain 2 awards. And this gives me a recognition of what I'm doing, all the hard work behind, that it's not visible on the screen, and not just that, also gives me strength to continue doing it, to that it's worth the work behind, the sacrifice. So I think it's a bit of all this together that combines and make you think, yeah, I need to keep working on it. Well, see, in Spain, maybe I'm a bit known, and freeride is growing a lot more than I never thought it will. And thanks that now it's integrated also on the federation and fees as well. All the formations, for example, of becoming a snowboard instructor or a ski instructor are putting the same hours on slopestyle, freestyle, and freeride, which is also a big change. And for example, I'm gonna be part of a formation coaching freeride for this in Spain, and I think it's just at the end more visibility and more opportunities for the future talents for all of this to keep growing. And I, in my side or in my role, it's great to be part of the history of freeride in Spain and have a reference as well, because there was not before. So to someone to look at, to be inspired, and also being able to also push and find their dreams. And I think that's also really nice. Well, I think that's pretty clear. Last season, I mean, I see now in perspective last season compared to, or last year to this, compared to this year. And last year I was really down in my darkness. I almost died in an avalanche in Verbier. And then the first contest on the Freeride World Tour, well, it happened to be in Verbier because Baqueira and Andorra got cancelled. And I was like, oh, fuck, I need to go there first, right? And luckily, before I get this announced, I was on the starting of the year, I was like, new year, new me. I need to go again to where I experienced that. I need to go through there. I need to throw my emotions, to see what I feel, to just liberate from the pain and close that circle that was so much pain on me. And so I was there. I cry, I laugh, I scream, I throw everything. And after that, I felt so much power on me, so much empowerment. And then 2 days later, they said on the group, it happened in Verbier, the first contest. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I went already. So now I can just focus on the competition and not in any emotional side. And and then I won there. So I was just like, wow, I want more than a victory there. I want a battle, a struggle on me. And after that, I didn't really mind what was the rest. For me, I already won more than anything. I think what it has really worked for me is that the most you feel you can't, or you want to give up, or you just don't want to do it because you're too lazy or too tired or too whatever, it's the moment that you really have to do it, because that it's gonna, after, when it's just easy and motivated to do it, it's easy to do. The hardest part to do is when you don't feel like it, and that's gonna determine all the hard work, and you're gonna see it's worth it.